Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. It's a beautiful morning here in Chicagoland. I'm at Salt Creek Woods. As you see behind me over here, there's a bald cypress tree. You see cypress knees. Not something you would generally find in the Chicago area. I've been here before. Some people who watch know this, but there was a Civilian Conservation Corps camp here in the 1930s, and they planted these trees, according to most people I've talked to. Anyway, just want to do a quick short video today about equipment and how much do you really need as far as photo equipment, photo video equipment. Yesterday, I went with a good buddy of mine down to Starved Rock State Park, which I did a video on a week or so back. I'll put a link to that in the end titles. And he shoots Nikon, I shoot Micro Four Thirds. And he brought a bag with, a body and several lenses, but he ended up, just when we were hiking, using his Z8. Pretty sure he's got a Z8 and a Z9. I think he's using the Z8 and the Nikon 24 to 120 millimeter lens. Nice combination for walking around. And I had this little backpack with a insert in it. Had my G9 Mark II. I had the 14 to 140, and I also had the Leica 8 to 18 millimeters. And so I hiked into a couple of the areas, actually a couple of the areas that I showed in the video a week ago. And it got me to thinking, because here's the one thing, the 14 to 140, really nice lens, but in a situation like that, I found myself having to switch back and forth between that and the Leica 8 to 18, because there's a lot of places where you're in a narrow rock canyon and you kind of need a wider view. I mean, it's nice having that 140 because you can zoom in and stuff, and I haven't seen his photos yet, but he's a good photographer. He's done professional photography. He's also a law enforcement officer, so I don't have to worry about much because he carries all the time and has his badge even when he's not working. So if we ran into trouble, he's the guy to be with. But got me to thinking that in the future, I may, on more extended hikes, either just take, like right now, I just have my little ZS200 Lumix in this little compact camera case. But at the most, I'm probably just going to take the G95 and the 12 to 60, which is equivalent to the field of view of the 24 to 120. Of course, it's a slower lens than that, but the image stabilization that Panasonic has is really, really good. And so you can get away with using slower lenses because you can handhold it at low shutter speeds, even with the G95. I mean, the G9 is better, but the G95 is still good enough. Yeah, and it's got the older 20 megapixel sensor on the G95, whereas the G9 Mark II has the newer 25 megapixel sensor. There are some advantages to that. That 25 megapixel sensor, in my opinion, is better at higher ISOs than the old 20 megapixel. But really, resolution-wise, there's not a whole lot of difference between 25 and 20. So, and yeah, so I may just make do with something more compact. If I take the G95 with the 12 to 60, I also have the Leica 9mm f1.7, so I'd still have an ultra wide if I needed it. But that going to 12 wide angle in situations like that is actually kind of a noticeably large difference between that and 14 millimeters. So anyway, I'm gonna take a little hike this morning. Birds out here singing. Sunny day, but we have wildfire smoke from Canada moving into the area, and it started coming in yesterday, and so there is a haze up above me here, and that's actually okay for photography because it kind of tamps down on the sun and gets you a little lower contrast. Not so good if there's wildfires going on in Canada again. So anyway, let's see what kind of pictures I get, and I'll be back after that from home with a follow-up. Well, that was a nice little hike. I'm back home. Hope you enjoyed those images, and yeah, just sticking with this little ZS200 Lumix. Probably the camera I use the most, which is interesting. But it's so easy to carry when I go out just for casual hikes. There's not much point in taking anything else. And don't get me wrong, you know, there's a place for having all of the equipment that we have. I mean, my G9 Mark II kit, you know, I've got the 12 to 35 and 35 to 100 f2.8 lenses. I've got the Leica 8 to 18 millimeter. I got a Leica 25 millimeter f1.7. Got the 100 to 300. So I've got the whole gamut of lenses, but most of the time I don't need that stuff. So, and in my job as a photojournalist, I'm carrying a lot of that around with me all the time. So when I go out for just an enjoyable walk in the woods, I don't want to carry all that stuff. And as I mentioned before the slideshow, yeah, I mean, I went out to Starved Rock with a buddy of mine and just really started thinking, well, what do I want to carry with me? And, you know, with all of the news and hype that we're seeing right now with the new Lumix S1 line of cameras, and don't get me wrong, wonderful cameras. I mean, if you are serious about producing high quality video, there's nothing wrong with spending the money on that. But for doing videos for this platform, for YouTube or TikTok, you got to ask yourself, if that's what you're doing and you're not doing things like, you know, producing prints and selling prints, do you really need a system like that? Or can you get away with using, you know, just your phone? My iPhone 16 Pro takes really good video. Right now I am filming on the Osmo Pocket 3. Takes really good video. I have my G95, which is if I want to take something with interchangeable lenses, a lot of times I'll grab that for a casual walk and not the G9 Mark II, because there is a weight difference. Obviously, the G9 Mark II with the 25 megapixels sensor, you know, is somewhat better than the G95, but all the video modes that the G9 Mark II has, that's really kind of overkill for me. And it seems to me that maybe if you're really into the video side of things, a GH7 would make more sense than a G9 Mark II. So, you know, I think you really need to think about what it is you want to accomplish with all of this equipment, and try not to get into the gear acquisition syndrome thing, which affects us all. You know, we have this thought of, wow, if I get that piece of equipment, it'll just make a thing, I'll be able to create so much better content. And really, we've got all these tools, and some of them not very expensive, that allow us to create really good content and not spend a lot of money. But anyway, those are my thoughts. So just, you know, we especially on YouTube, you see all of these creators who are pushing us, and the camera companies as well, pushing us to get more and more when maybe less is more. So, What do you think? Leave a comment below. I try to get to those as soon as I can. If this was interesting and useful to you, pop the like button. It's a big help to me. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you next time.